A double double again?
A triple. Wait, number 60. He almost had a triple double.
I'd like to welcome the victorious Michigan Wolverines to the dais. They will advance to the semifinal round of the West Region in Anaheim Thursday, playing again the winner of the Buffalo-Texas Tech game that will be played tomorrow in Tulsa. This will be Michigan's 16th trip in program history of the Sweet 16, the 5th time under Coach Beilein's tenure, and the 2nd straight trip to the West Coast. To my immediate left, we have center Jon Teske, the man in the middle, Jordan Poole, Charles Matthews, and at this time, Coach, congratulations. We're taking an opening statement.
Well, Florida's had such a great year, and they really had us confused in the first half because they kept changing defenses on us. Their 1-3-1 was really good, and we had some we thought were good looks. They're probably a little bit from distance that we couldn't knock down, and fortunately we were able to get stops so they couldn't set the defense in the second half. Or we found a new plan in the second half that worked much better. So, but all that doesn't happen. We only scored 64 points. Holding them to 40, these guys, holding this team to 49 points is incredible. And that's how we won the game.
This time we'll take questions for our student athletes. Please raise your hand. Left side standing.
For all three of the players, I'm Adam Teicher from ESPN. You guys have been playing great defense all year, including the 2 games here. When did that become a point of pride for you guys to play defense that way?
I'm going to start with Jordan.
Me personally, last year when I got on campus, they made a major emphasis on defense. Coach Yao came in, and I think that is really what turned our team around. Everybody bought in, and being able to have guys from last year still in the team and bring it on to the team this year is something that we have really bought into and something that we pride ourselves in.
Charles?
I think that the pride part of it started last summer when guys were just in here playing one-on-ones from sun up to sundown. Like JP was playing one-on-ones, Debo, we was all just playing one-on-ones, and nobody wanted to be the guy that was embarrassed and getting talked about the next day after. So that's what kind of started the pride part of us locking up.
John?
I mean, it starts on beginning of practice. And I mean, obviously you don't want to get scored on, and it's that pride part. And I mean, we don't want to let our brothers down. And so just keeping keeping each other accountable, and just D'ing up.
Other questions for our student athletes on the right side here, the aisle?
This is for Jordan and Charles. I don't know how many times today Florida players had what looked like good looks to the basket. They saw Jon there, they either passed out or they significantly altered their shot. How nice is it to have Jon behind you being that security blanket on defense?
It's huge. Just having him as our anchor. You know, last year we had Mo, and Mo wasn't blocking no shots, and he'll tell us that in the face. Hey, I'm not Blake Griffin, bro. So just having Mo down, just having Sleep down there is very, very relief for us. Allows us to pressure the ball and kind of make some mistakes out there because we know he behind us to cover it up.
Yeah, when we're guarding on the perimeter, there's going to be times that we may get beat. And being able to have the utmost confidence that we have Jon back there, being able to save us. Like I think I got beat on the back door earlier tonight, and Jon was able to wall up, and then just being able to have a guy who can bail us out on multiple occasions, and just being able to have him, like Charles said, our anchor is definitely huge.
Right side aisle.
Hey, Alan Vaughn from USA Today. So they came out and hit 6 threes in the first half, and then they shot 3 of 14 on like 21% in the second half. What changed defensively? Do you smell a little blood in the water, or what happened? Describe that for us.
Start with Jon first and work our way.
I mean, they got a couple easy looks. I mean, a couple of ball screens they're throwing over the top. I mean, we were just trying to shut that water off. I mean, 6 threes is a lot in the first half for us. I mean, typically we only give up 2 or 3 each game. And so that was kind of hurting us in the first half, but we changed some things, and we came out in the second half. We knew that we had to shut that water off, and that's what we did.
Jordan?
Yeah, like Jon said, we don't give up too many threes too often, and we realized that in the second half we needed to make a change. We felt like they were staying in the game because they were able to get open looks and they were being able to capitalize on the 3 points. So being able to try to force them into tough twos and have them make tougher baskets, I guess, in the 2-point percentage is something that the stats show that they weren't really well at, but they were staying in the game with their threes, and I think it was a huge emphasis to make sure that we contested and not let them get threes in the second half.
Charles?
Yeah, we made some adjustments at halftime. We wanted to shut off their water. They was getting a lot of good open looks. So, like I said, coaching staff did a great job of recognizing that, and we just followed the game plan.
Left side aisle.
Ian Eklund, AP Broadcast. Jordan, so last year in the second round, you had that game winner against Houston. This year, you had 19 points. Like, what is it about the second round, and, like, were you thinking about that going into the game at all?
I'm just excited to go to California. So being able to have that position where if we win this game, we went to LA last year, and now I think we go to Anaheim. I think that's really about it.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, we take questions for Coach Beeline.
Yeah, I thought we can.
Yeah, players can go, yeah.
Coach,
Danny Lawhon, Des Moines Register. Coach, perhaps just your perspective on the difference in defense in the second half. I mean, especially 5.5 minutes without them scoring a point at a point where it had gotten down to 7. And so anything change, or just intensity, or what?
You know, they have 3 guys on their team that we talk about. They can get their own jump shot. We have a guy in our league, Carson Edwards, at Purdue, is like that. They have 3 of them, and so they're so quick. And what happened is they were running some great ball screen action where we only had a single tag, and it was so high we kept missing it and gave them really good shots. And that was a big difference off it. They gave them really good shots. Second half, the kids adjusted. They did a great job with it. So that was it. They didn't get as open. Is a simple answer. They did not get as open, and it was changing. We did a couple different things. We tried to change up so that Andrew Neppart there, number 2, is so talented. We had to continue to give him different looks. He's just a freshman. Keep giving him different looks that he had to discern.
Right side aisle.
Coach, they all 3 said shut the water off. Talk about that. Is that something you guys talk about, or did they just all make that up on the fly?
I think we mentioned it, but it's not a catchphrase with us. But it is something that we're really proud of, our defensive numbers, right? And there's all the analytics out there, but I think we're one of the very top 10 in the country, if not top 1 or 2 in the country in DER, et cetera. So they take a lot of pride in that, especially Charles and Xavier, right? John protects the rim. Charles and Xavier are on guys, right? And we don't – Iggy and Jordan Poole are certainly growing defensively. It's not just the coaches. It's those 2 who are on them all the time, making sure that they all buy into this idea. You know, you can win scoring 64 points, right, if you hold them to 49. Oh, yeah, there's no question. Charles came off and gave up a 3. He was so upset with himself. When Neppard hit the 3 behind the screen, he should have never gone under that screen. He was so upset with himself, but he was also telling everybody, saying, including me, we can't give him any more 3s, and they didn't get too many more open ones.
Standing on the left side.
John, playing defense the way you have, not just in this tournament, but over the whole season, obviously take some buy-in from the players. Mm-hmm. Did you have to do a sales job to get them to play this way, or was it a lot easier than that?
I think our 33 wins last year was the sales job. They knew it, right? That we had a team with some really veteran players. Muhammad Ali was really a good defender, and Duncan Robinson actually became a good defender who people used to pick on early. He got so smart with his defense, and so they saw it firsthand that a team that could beat really good teams last year. I mean, really good teams with defense.
We have 5 minutes left in this session.
Obviously, you build the season to peak for these moments, these couple of weeks. Just assess maybe the performance of these first 2 rounds. The scoreboard and everything would say that it maybe went fairly close to script. Would you agree with that?
I don't. That you guys are scripting it. I'm not. I thought Montana was just a terrible matchup for us, right? I just thought they had all those shooters. They were all over the place. And we continue to, but that's how I think all the time. I'm always thinking of what could happen in this game. And then this team with that jump shooting team and the changing in defense with really how much can you prep? You walk through stumps. We broke a sweat. You can't really do it at game speed. To see that 1-3-1, which I don't know if Darius used to play for me, the assistant. It was very much like the ones we played at West Virginia and at Richmond, and it was really good. but we couldn't like do it live yesterday, so we had to adjust. I'm really pleased the way we did it, but was it the script? No, these games, everybody's good. There's no script. Everything's good. Everybody's good. Anybody can beat anybody.
Other questions out there for the coach, right side?
Coach, you talked about that 1-3-1. It seemed in the first half you got some good looks on it. The shots just didn't fall. Did you do something differently in the second half, or the shots just fell?
Yeah, I thought the looks were good, but I thought they were a little deep. We settled, you know, and that maybe we could have got. We have some guys that, you know, have the dog fences on there. They get to the NBA line and they stop instead of moving in and shoot further than they needed to. But the second half, yeah, we changed just the geometry of our approach. And we changed it several times just to keep giving them different looks. And we discovered during that time when we went to spot A or spot B, they went man-to-man. So that helped us a lot. The first half, you know, we probably have seen it 3 possessions all year, and we saw it 10 possessions in the first half. So it's tough to get used to, especially with their length. And really was a secret to our success at West Virginia in particular, because nobody sees it that played that way.
Have time for one more question. Okay, thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks,
Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thanks. Pleasure working with you. Thank you again. Thank you.
This time we're taking an opening statement from Coach Mike White, the Florida Gators.
Tough loss. I thought we did some good things, especially early second half. Got away from us. We didn't make the best of decisions offensively. I do think we played really hard in the second half. Left it out there on the floor. No regrets in that regard. Just playing from behind for the second 20 minutes, I thought we expended a lot of energy. Had some faulty rotations as we tried to turn those guys over in some run and jump situations. They handled the pressure really well. And a big factor, of course, in playing from behind is it, you know, you're playing the top-ranked defensive efficiency team in the country, and we just saw it firsthand how disciplined, tough, physical, connected that defense is. They are terrific. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we played poorly. We did some good things. Just didn't do enough. And they guarded at a really high level, as they do, and we wish them the best. Tough to finish coaching these 3 seniors. Of course, these 2 to my left. Kayvon Allen's back in the locker room. He's done some big things throughout his career, of course. He's been a part of a lot of wins, 3 NCAA tournaments, a lot of big shots. Jalen Hudson has scored a lot of points throughout his career, playing the best basketball of his career late this year. Really rededicated himself, became more of a leader, played really, really hard in this past month. Much improved defender and rebounder. In my opinion, I'm biased, of course. And Kavarius Hayes here to my left plays as hard as anybody in the SEC. And you know, we watched him progress to the tune of scoring at a much higher level than ever before in his career. Should have been an all-league defensive player, in my opinion. And these three guys have all had absolutely zero issues off the floor. They've all represented University of Florida in our program in a first-class manner. And I hate to see their careers come to an end because they were playing very well.
This time we'll take questions for our student athletes. Please raise your hand. I have a microphone your way. Left side on the aisle.
Chris Harry, FloridaGators.com. For Jalen and Andrew, can you just speak to their defensive aggressiveness, especially during that, I guess it was a 14-0 run between the two halves, and also how a couple things they made you do uncharacteristically, like Andrew, a couple jump passes and stuff like that. Is that just what they make you all do?
Start with Andrew first.
I think it was not that they made us, that I just made some bad decisions, making jump passes, jumping to score, but it was more of my bad decision for me, I think.
Yeah, I just thought they were super disruptive on the defensive end, and they really played their principles, and it was kind of hard for us to get into the lane and kind of shake them at all. So you have to really credit them for their defense tonight.
Right side aisle.
Alan Vaughn for USA Today. Can you guys expand on that on the perimeter? Was it anything specifically they did, or was it just cumulative for the whole game that eventually was just exhausting?
Start with Andrew, then Jalen, then Kavarius.
I think it was just how disciplined they were on defense, just shutting down driving angles and not letting us get our shots off easily. Good ball screen coverage. But it was just overall the defense throughout the whole game was pretty consistent.
I can just definitely see why they're number one in college basketball for defense. I mean, they were just super solid. Everything we tried to run, they were there. Or the mistakes that they made, they were able to cover them so fast. And they had the 7-footer inside too. So even when you did get in the paint, it was hard for to finish because he was altering shots even though he wasn't blocking them. So and then on the perimeter, we had to take some contested shots, especially late shot clock, that kind of altered our shots a little bit too.
Yeah, kind of like what they said. Defensively, they're pretty sound. You know, they didn't really let up in any categories. And any time we did, we're able to make them make a mistake, like he said. They had a large presence, 7-footer in the paint. Just like kind of hard to get around that, especially when you work so hard to kind of break through to get in the paint in the first place.
Okay, back row. Chris, and then we'll come up to you on the
Chris Cuellar for the
side.
Orlando Sentinel. Kavarius, through 20 minutes, you guys were real close, and did you feel like you were in a good place through the work you'd done?
Yeah, I felt very, very confident with like where we were. Like we were making some mistakes, but again, we're still kind of like hanging around. Feel like we fixed those mistakes. Play a little bit harder on defense. We're possibly put ourselves in a better position, but unfortunately, it wasn't the case. We're missing like a lot of shots, and then again, made some defensive mistakes that really they capitalized on and made us pay for.
left side aisle.
I know it's only been a couple minutes for the two seniors, but can you reflect on how you remember this season and maybe even in the bigger picture how you remember your time at Florida?
Start with Jalen first.
Just that we never gave up and we fought. At one point in the season, there was a lot of uncertainty, and we never laid down. We never sat down. We just found a way to win, and we all came together. We all banded together. So I will never forget the way we came together and how we were able to fight, and how we maxed out when we decided to, and I will never forget that. So that was important to me.
Yeah, the season was definitely like a lot of highs and lows. And there was a time where, even being in the NCAA tournament was not even in the question for us, but we managed to find a way, band together, and made it here. And I say, like, my time at Florida as a whole, I enjoyed just about every moment, all the games, the experiences that I've had, all the relationships that I've, nurtured, with my teammates, and hope to continue that beyond this.
Any other questions for our student athletes? If not, you guys, you're free to go back to the locker room. Thank you very much. This time we'll take questions for the head coach, please. Left side aisle.
Mike, there was a sequence, they went on that 14-0 run, but then they went on a stretch, they went almost 7 minutes without a field goal, and the one that broke it, although it won the field goal, was the late shot clock foul and the three-point shots. Can you just expand on I think it happened 3 times.
Yeah, that was our third one. You can't foul jump shooters. It's one of our defensive no's in our program, and in, I would say, most programs. It's written up on the wall. It's talked about every day. It's stressed every day. And we watched it on film, and we talked about it several times in this quick prep that they draw fouls on jump shots, both Poole and Matthews, and we've got to be more disciplined in that.
Question on the back on the left.
Mike, at halftime, how did you feel about what you'd done through 20 minutes, and what were some of the adjustments you were trying to make going into the second half?
I told our guys in the locker room at halftime that if you were to have told me this morning that we'd be down 4 and here are your defensive clips, I would have been thrilled, because we watched our clips. We watched some of the mistakes that we made in the first half. It was too many. It was too many. It was faulty ball screen coverage, faulty rotations, a couple missed blockouts, lack of tracing of the ball a couple times, and then there were probably a few more that I can't think of right now. And we were down 4 against one of the best teams in the country. So, that was a challenge to our guys. Let's wake up defensively. We come out early second half, gave up a basket immediately, gave up I don't know how many early second half, but never seemed to find a defensive rhythm there until, I'm just guessing, 3, 4, 5 minutes into the second half, and then found a rhythm. And then I thought we played them pretty even for a while. We got into a decent rhythm there offensively, if you can consider anything decent against that defense. But I want to say we were hovering around 6 or 7 from behind and had a couple empty possessions. And then I thought we freaked out a little bit offensively. And they'll do that to you. And it's funny, we talked in the pregame. We said, hey, there are going to be some stretches. There are going to be some dry stretches in this game. I'm just telling you. And I know you don't want to hear that. But they're terrific. And just like you guys, talking to my team, just like you guys are terrific defensively, teams will go through some dry spells. I don't know that, outside of Kentucky, we've seen a team that's this sound. And so we've got to maintain composure and just continue plugging away, stay the course. And we didn't do a very good job of that. Probably, I would say, midway through the second half, maybe 7, 8 minutes left, where we had 4 possessions where we had a couple shots blocked and we had a couple turnovers, all off of just trying to do a little bit too much. And as good as they are defensively, another thing that our young guys can learn from Michigan, every game, win or lose, we like to think that we've got a lot to learn from. And with these guys, as good as they are defensively, offensively, I thought they were just very, very sound. They do what they do. Their roles are very defined. I was incredibly impressed. It's hard to appreciate how good Xavier Simpson is on film. Incredibly impressed with his toughness, accountability, leadership, the way he barks at his teammates, the way they respond to him. He's just a guy, just doesn't make any mistakes. He's just out there just plugging away and playing the game, offensively and defensively. Really, really good.
Any other questions for the head coach? If not, thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks, guys.